Is your kitchen looking sad these days? Are you tired of looking at that old, dated bathroom? From rooftops to those unsightly holes in the walls, Complete Contracting has got you covered. Call 405-676-0595 today to schedule an estimate. Once again, that number is 405-676-0595. And remember, Complete Contracting has the contracting expertise for all your renovation and repair needs.
All right, guys. Hey, welcome to the Tod Tucker Show. I want to start this show out by saying God bless the 45th president of these United States, President Donald John Trump. We are hashtag winning, baby. Melting snowflakes and getting it done for America because we are nationalists, not globalists. Now, I've seen a lot of hoo-ha on social media about President Trump saying that he is a nationalist and rejecting globalism. And they're trying to conflate that statement with white supremacy, or I guess promoting European culture over other races and ideology, poppycock. Nationalism, as I am a very proud nationalist, means that you propagate and promote the idea that different countries and nationalities can maintain their own cultures and systems of governance and be proud of that. And so America should put America first, and China should put China first, and Russia should put Russia first, okay? So I, unlike you intolerant, liberal, leftist, multiculturalists that want to categorize everyone so that you can pit man against man, think that it is a beautiful and diverse thing to have the leader of the free world promoting nationalism for countries all over the globe.
You know what a globalist is, right? You know what a globalist is? A globalist is a person that wants the globe to do well, frankly, not caring about our country so much. And you know what? We can't have that. You know, they have a word. It sort of became old-fashioned. It's called a nationalist. And I say, really, we're not supposed to use that word. You know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay? I'm a nationalist.
Man, what a leader. What a hero. I've got to tell you, I'm a veteran. I'm a former Marine. And President Donald Trump is a patriot and a hero. I don't know where we'd be without him. Yeah, actually, I do know where we would be without him. Scary to think that crooked Hillary could have been the president of these United States. And, you know, we're going to find more and more out about the 44th president of the United States as these FISA declassifications march forward, as George Soros's empire continues to go down in flames, which we're going to get to the migrant caravan. You know, I've had people blowing me up about this 7,000, 8,000 strong caravan coming out of Honduras, which, by the way, the fact that this is all happening just before midterms, this journey would have taken logistically much longer than it's going to take this caravan to reach our borders, is a clear indication that this is a deep state attack on the Trump administration and the prosperity that they're achieving. So don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't buy the hype. This is not about human rights. This is not about racism. This is not about nationalism. This is about the fact that the last several administrations have been in the bag for the military-industrial complex and the central banking cabal that's been in control of our federal government. They have not wanted America to prosper. They have been trying to redistribute America's wealth all over the world. So, trigger warning, you guys. Moto is hosting the Tod Tucker Show today, so we're going to go full bore. I do want to take the chance to mention that the views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily the views of OTU, its board, or its partners. And today, not even necessarily those of Tod Tucker, the man himself. Because you liberals and you Democrats are lucky to have people like Tod Tucker between you and I. Todd's a little soft for me sometimes. I am what would probably be classified, get ready college kids, you might not have heard of this before, I'm what would be classified as an anarcho-capitalist. So I am for minimal government, maximum freedom, still maintaining the rights to property ownership and civil liberties. So we have to remember that government by nature is always expanding. It's by nature perpetuating itself. And our founding fathers knew this, which is why they designed government to be as restricted as possible. So our founding documents and our Constitution is not a document that grants power to government. Rather, it enumerates for us all of the things that government cannot and should never do, like mitigating our Second Amendment rights. I'm unfortunate in this regard to live in the great state of Oklahoma. I love my state. Red Man Land is the place that they'll bury me if I have anything to say about it. But we are not a constitutional carry state. And that is one of the clearest and most present absurdities in Oklahoma's state government right now, along with tax hikes during a surplus and the state boards overstepping their authority to overrule the will of the people, the Oklahoma Supreme Court holding the citizens of Oklahoma to a higher standard than the legislature whenever it comes to authoring these bills and these different measures that go through committee and all this. It's pomp and circumstance mostly at 23rd and Lincoln. I think most of these people have just picked a platform and a party and paid someone to run a campaign, and now they're sitting down there with an office still not knowing a whole lot special about anything. And the state of Oklahoma is in precarious times right now. People do not realize the amount of left-wing dark money that's pouring into Oklahoma to try to influence the most conservative state in the Union, the great state of Oklahoma. So there's some really important races going on. Of course, that for governor with Kevin Stitt, Drew Edmondson. Now, there's a great story on Sooner Politics, our friends over at Sooner Politics. As a matter of fact, let's give them a shout out real quick. I'm going to be producing and hosting today, so you guys are going to see me coming back and forth on the keyboard here a little bit. But Sooner Politics are our friends. They run an awesome blog spot for us called The Bunker. So go to SoonerPolitics.org. Find the Tod Tucker Show on there. You can click more news to find your way to The Bunker. But they have a great story on today about the last gasp of the Edmonton political machine. I highly encourage you guys to go and check that out. The reason why I am most opposed to Drew Edmondson is he, and Brooke has talked about this on the Tod Tucker Show before also, he already draws a $149,000 pension from the state of Oklahoma due to his time as our Attorney General. And that race is very important. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Drew Edmondson is literally the hands and the head on the neck responsible for the criminal justice crisis that we're in the state of Oklahoma right now. We are not only the most incarcerated state in the United States of America, but we are the most incarcerated square mileage in the entire world, men and women. Thank you, Drew Edmondson. Now, I hear a lot of people criticize Kevin Stitt for his voting record and involvement in Oklahoma politics. Listen, it's Drew Edmondson's history and involvement in Oklahoma politics that is the glaring red flag. He's going to raise our taxes. He's going to continue to mitigate our Second Amendment rights. He's going to grow the government and probably worsen the criminal justice crisis that we're in already. So the race for governor is indeed paramount to the future of Oklahoma, and it's time to turn this state around right here and right now. So vote for Kevin Stitt for governor. Like I said, you have no idea how much left-wing dark money is pouring in to try to tilt the scales in this race. Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell, he went to victory. He marched to victory with Donald Trump in 2016. He and his wife are small business owners out of the Tulsa area. He's a conservative. He's a great Republican. He's a good communicator. He's somebody that I would definitely encourage anyone to have sitting at the table to do any type of negotiating or any type of representation for them. The guy is just charismatic. He's comprehensive. He knows what he's doing. But in addition to that, Anastasia Pittman, again, on the Democrat side. If you look at where Anastasia Pittman is coming from, she's coming from Senate District 48. Senate District 48 is a very large and gerrymandered district across the black communities that are in the Oklahoma metro area, from up north off of the Broadway extension and 122nd Street, all the way down to the east side of Oklahoma City, and then it stretches all the way out to Spencer and Dungy, out that direction. So all of these black communities, because of federal law, and it's not Oklahoma's state legislature, it's not our leadership here, there's going to be some redistricting conversations in 2021, I believe. That's coming from our good friend Willard Lindsay. But all of these black communities have been gerrymandered together in this one district, and the economic development that's happening out there on 23rd Street east of I-35 is non-existent. It's non-existent. There, and it's for a very good reason that Willard does an awesome job of explaining. You see, those communities used to elect Democrats when Democrats were the legislative majority in the state of Oklahoma. That hasn't been the case for 12 years. So once you saw the Democrats lose a majority in the legislature, the amount of bills that their representatives from those communities are being able to get through committee and ultimately get passed is down to nothing. Nada. And it's just a matter of numbers. Not only do the Republicans now have a veto-proof majority in the Senate at 40 votes when the veto-proof majority is at 36, but they don't even have enough members in committee on the Democrat side to get anything heard on the floor of the House or the Senate. So if you live in a Democrat district, you're going to have to go and ask your brother-in-law's senator or rep to bring it to the attention of the legislature, because the Democrat members of those bodies are not going to be able to get that heard, because the Republicans are making their decisions in their party caucus, in their primary caucus. So it would make a lot more sense for these communities to send someone to the majority of the legislature so that they can actually advocate in the place where those decisions are being made, not just in the hallways. But if you take a look at what Anastasia Pittman has gotten done for Senate District 48, you'll see exactly what she's going to get done for the state of Oklahoma, and that's nothing. So if you want to sell, vote Pinnell. Matt, we can't wait to see you in Lieutenant Governor's office, and I think you're going to do an amazing job, Now, I was talking about Drew Edmondson's time as the Attorney General, and the race for Attorney General on November 6th is extremely important. And we're going to take a break for a minute, and we'll get to some of the other down-ticket elections, as well as continue to talk about some of the national issues that are happening. If you guys are watching now, leave some comments about what's happening on the national level, and we'll try to toss some of it in. Or if you've got some stuff on the state level that you want to talk about, I know I see a lot of people jumping in that are very active in the political spectrum right now because, as Plato says, the price of apathy towards public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. All right, we're going to be right back. You guys are watching the Tod Tucker Show with Moto today.
help.com. Is your kitchen looking sad these days? Are you tired of looking at that old, dated bathroom? From rooftops to those unsightly holes in the walls, Complete Contracting has got you covered. Call 405-676-0595 today to schedule an estimate. Once again, that number is 405-676-0595. And remember, Complete Contracting has the contracting expertise for all your renovation and repair needs.
Alright guys, hey, as you are noticing, our production value is increasing. As you guys continue to support the efforts here at OTU Media, we are going to continue to improve what you're looking at, what you're hearing, who you're listening to. We've already been fortunate enough to have a lot of amazing guests on from not only our elected officials and our legislature here in Oklahoma, but also plenty of activists that are out there moving the ball forward and actually making a difference in the state of Oklahoma. So if you guys like what we're doing here, if you guys like the content, then go to www.patreon.com/OTU Media. Become a patron there. Anything you can give, $1 a month even, helps us plan our budget and stay on the attack here. Also, go to Oklahoma Taxpayers Unite on YouTube. Subscribe, click the notification. We're headed to 1,000 subscribers. That will monetize our channel, and then we will be able to keep fuel coming to the fire. You guys can also find us on Facebook at OK Taxpayers Unite. Let's get back to business. All right, this Attorney General's race. Now, I have a lot of friends that were very pro 788. And they are wondering why I am in such staunch support of Mike Hunter for the Attorney General. I'm very pro 788 also. Very pro legalization. I'm a veteran. I have a lot of friends who have PTSD and benefit greatly from medicinal marijuana. And I want them to be able to live and medicate in peace. In the state of Oklahoma, we have a wonderful state here and a wonderful state for actually growing the stuff. We are already an agrarian society, so we are very well equipped and could easily surpass the $200–300 million mark of recurring revenue for the state. But my friends asked me why, when Mike Hunter was not in favor of 788, am I supporting him for the Attorney General? It's because, yes, it's true that Mike Hunter did not support 788 until the people of Oklahoma voted on it. Whenever the people of Oklahoma decided that 788 was what they wanted when it came to medicinal marijuana. The Oklahoma Health Board came over the top of the will of the people and enacted rules that were later endorsed by Governor Phelan herself that banned smokable cannabis in the dispensaries and required a pharmacist there 40 hours a week at every dispensary. And Mike Hunter immediately, courageously and immediately spoke out against the health board's decision, said that they did not have the authority to do that, that the literature that passed by a vote of the people in 788 is what they must abide by, and that his counsel was pursuant to that. So Mike Hunter is a constitutionalist. Now, he's not afraid to tell you what he thinks. He gave us his opinion on 788. He thought it was written poorly, but that didn't matter once it was passed and was revealed to be the will of the people, because Mike Hunter knows that his constitutional duty is to serve the will of the people. Now, also with the will of the people, we saw Mike Hunter courageously and acutely, 110% on target, come out against the Oklahoma Supreme Court when they made the decision on the protests against our petition, our referendum petition on the tax hike with 1010XX. So for those of you that are less than familiar with HB 1010XX, it was the largest tax hike in the history of the state of Oklahoma, and not only was it the largest tax hike in the state's history, but it was also completely unnecessary. So the Supreme Court ruled that the petition was insufficient based on Scribner's errors, clerical errors, basically page numbers. And Mike Hunter came out and said that not only was 1023 the teacher pay raise that went into law when 1010 was enacted, not only did he say that that's separate and already in law no matter what happens to the repeal referendum with 1010XX, but he told the Supreme Court that they were holding us to a higher standard than they even did our legislature, aptly demonstrated with 788. So the tax hike was unnecessary because we're in a revenue. If you go to the Oklahoma Treasurer's website, Ken Miller's website, he has an Oklahoma economic report that he puts out every month. You can look at this for every month since we passed the tax hike. And what you will see is that the coffers in Oklahoma are overflowing right now. For the past 12 months, our total gross revenue on tax receipts is up 12%. And it's more now, actually. So we're getting close to $1.5 billion extra dollars in the state coffers than what we had last year. Now that's triple what the proponents of the tax hike were asking for teacher pay raises and support staff. Not only did the media in Oklahoma, the mainstream media, the dinosaur dying, failing mainstream media, even in Oklahoma, the Mockingbird local media, not only did the media and our legislature collude in a gaslighting campaign to wait till the very, very last minute to pass 1023, which was the teacher pay raises, into law. Not only did they wait until the very last minute to do that, they also convinced us that the tax hike in 1010XX was attached to that afterwards, and that we needed this tax hike to give these teachers their pay raises, at least 60% of what they were asking for. And we're going to tax those teachers and support staff into their own pay raise. By the way, teachers, that money goes away next year. It goes back into the general fund and roads and bridges. Don't complain to the over 24 school districts, rural districts in Oklahoma that don't even get any of that money from the state. So their taxes just went up. Their teachers' taxes just went up, and they don't even get any of that money. While we simultaneously gave a massive pay cut to all the farmers and ranchers that are in Oklahoma right now, burning hundreds of gallons of gasoline and diesel through their trucks, tractors, combines, etc. Also raising GPT on our energy sector. That is one of our most vulnerable sectors in Oklahoma right now due to the federal government under Barack Obama keeping a jackboot on the neck of American energy. So whenever our federal government decides to cut our taxes and release the regulations on our energy market here in Oklahoma, what does our legislature turn around and do? What does our media turn around and do? What did these teachers unions riot at the Capitol to do? To raise taxes and take away our tax cuts and penalize our industries that need that deregulation the most. So Mike Hunter was brilliant and vocal, and it's the immediate, the urgency with which he gives guidance to these different state agencies and boards and courts and whatnot. It's comprehensive and immediate and courageous, and I'm telling you, if you want the future of the state of Oklahoma to be anything brighter than what we've been getting for the last 12 years, you've got to vote for Mike Hunter for Attorney General. So the next clear absurdity that Mike Hunter came out on the right side of, and many of us have, it's asinine that we even have gotten to this point with constitutional carry, but 1212 sails through the Oklahoma House and the Senate. Sails through. It's constitutional carry. And after it goes through the legislature, and Oklahomans are vastly in favor of constitutional carry. A lot of us do it anyways. A lot of us do it whether it's legal or not. Because we're in the United States of America. It's called constitutional carry. How absurd. In fact, the reason that it's such a clear and present example of absurdity of the state government of Oklahoma is Oklahoma recognizes the constitutional carry rights of citizens from states all around us. All they need to constitutionally carry in the state of Oklahoma is a driver's license from Arizona or Kansas or so on or so forth. But I, as a citizen of Oklahoma, need my driver's license and another paper rectangle, another piece of paper permission from my state telling me that I'm still in the United States of America and still have my Second Amendment rights. How obscene that my state government is recognizing the rights of people from other states and restricting mine. Clear absurdity. So Mike Hunter is your Pro-2A candidate. He's a member of the NRA. He's endorsed by OK2A. So vote Mike Hunter for more rights, for less taxes, and smaller government. And that's what we're all about here at Oklahoma Taxpayers Unite. So we're going to take a break and pay some more bills. You guys get behind our sponsors. Give them your business. Call the numbers if you need anything done that you see during our commercial, and call us for advertising. We have some very unique opportunities for you to advertise on our podcasts here and also at different events around the states with banners and different newsletters. So you guys get with the grassroots. It's bumping in Oklahoma, and we need you. We need all hands on deck going into November 6th. This election is huge.
Wow, this is unbelievable. Thank you, Oklahoma, for coming to support what we've started today. And what have we started? We've started change. That's what we all want. And thank you for coming to support my husband, Kevin, and the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence. We are here today because we want to make a difference in our state. Isn't that right? And I believe that my husband, Kevin Stitt, is the candidate that can help turn our state around and turn it into a top 10 state. I want to thank you all. Many of you have been across the state campaigning for Kevin because you want a new Oklahoma. You want Oklahoma to turn into the top 10 state that we know it can be. And I want to thank you for all the hard work you've done and everything you've done to help get us to this point. But it's not over yet. And we are going to have to work very hard for the next 3 weeks to turn our state around. I want to start today by saying Kevin has left his company and he's chosen to make this sacrifice because he knows from the bottom of his heart that this is the right decision. And it is not just the right decision for him and our family, but it's the right decision for future Oklahomans. Oh. Over the last 20 years that I've known Kevin, I've watched him develop into a wonderful leader. He has learned how to set goals into the future and to rally people around him to move forward to those goals and to make the tough decisions to accomplish them. And that's what we need in our state. That's what we need as the leader of our state. And so I ask you today to help me welcome my husband, the next governor of Oklahoma, Kevin Stitt.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. We're going to win this. Can you say it with me? Oklahoma's turnaround starts right here, right now. Folks, I just want to say what an honor it is to have Senator Langford, Senator Inhofe, and the other delegates here from our state. I'm so excited to work with them. I can't do this by myself. It's going to take all of us to turn our state around. And just judging by this crowd, we wanted to pack the house for our vice president. You guys have done it today. They've said this is the largest crowd on any of his tours. So let's thank it. Let's thank him. I greeted him at the airport, and I went up on Air Force Two, and it was such an honor to represent you in greeting the Vice President of the United States to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so I am glad you're on your feet right now, because let's give a big warm welcome to the Vice President of the United States, Mr. Mike Pence.
All right, hey guys, it's Moto. I'm hosting the Tod Tucker Show today. You guys are watching footage from the Stitt for Governor and Vice President Mike Pence rally that they had at the Mady Center in Tulsa. It was a great success. They said it was a record crowd, the largest that they've had so far. Vice President Pence delivered greetings from the 45th President of the United States and really got the crowd riled up. They are ready to turn the state of Oklahoma around right here and right now. So let's listen to what the Vice President of the United States has to say for us.
Well, hello, Oklahoma. Wow. It is great to be in the Sooner State, and I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that is that Oklahoma and America need Kevin Stitt to be the next governor of the great state of Oklahoma. And we're going to make it happen right here, right now. I'll tell you what, this is a great crowd tonight. I can't wait to tell a friend of mine all about it. And speaking of him, I was chatting with him on the plane on the way here. He's on his way to Montana tonight, but he still wanted me to say hello to all the good people of Oklahoma, so allow me to bring greetings from the man the people of Oklahoma voted to make the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. Isn't he something? You know, I'll tell you what, this president has been getting up every day, since literally the morning after Election Day, working to keep the promises that he made to the people of Oklahoma. And just literally in the last few weeks, we've been seeing those promises delivered one after another. 4.2 million new jobs created since Election Day. The lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. A new trade deal between the United States and Mexico and Canada that puts American jobs and American farmers first. And just a few short weeks ago, this president kept his promise to appoint strong and principled conservatives to the highest court in the land when the Senate confirmed Justice Brett Kavanaugh. And let me say to the people of Oklahoma, it wouldn't have been possible without the support of two great leaders who are with us here today. Two Oklahomans who rejected the Democrats' strategy of search and destroy and supported Justice Brett Kavanaugh's nomination. Would you join me in thanking Senator Jim Inhofe and Senator James Lankford for their strong and principled leadership?
Well, there you have it. Vice President Mike Pence thanking our leaders here in the state of Oklahoma. One of those leaders that we want to thank and make sure that you go out and support is the Colonel Congressman Steve Russell. He is an amazing voice, not only for the people of Oklahoma, but the people of the United States of America in Washington. I do believe there is a debate, a Russell Hearn debate tonight at 5:30. I believe, I think it's at 5:30. I know it's tonight, I think it's at 5:30. So if you guys know where that's at, then post it in the comments in case anybody wants to go and catch that, because Steve Russell needs our support, Congressional District 5. All right, back to it. We're going to take a look at some of the stuff that you guys are seeing in the national headlines now. So on Wednesday, the Secret Service said it intercepted suspected packages identified as potential explosives. Don't worry, everyone. Relax. This is just Clock Boy trolling us in 2018. They were just homemade clocks. No big deal. Anyways, it's absolutely obscene to think that anyone mailed explosives to Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton has her maid open classified emails for her. You think she opens her own FedEx packages? So I see everybody on Facebook just all worked up into a frenzy on this. but it's a false flag. Oh, here we go. Lucy, Desi Lou, the Desi Doxy. That dachshund is going to be a true mascot for the state of Oklahoma one day. 1730829 Northwest 13th Street, Oklahoma City, and it is at 5:30. So you guys go check the debate out with Congressman Steve Russell. Washington is a dangerous place. It's a very dangerous place these days. What is not dangerous, though, is mailing yourself explosive packages. Just before the midterms to garner sympathy. That is not dangerous at all. So, for any of you that are not familiar with the term false flag is an old maritime term when ships would run up flags of a different country, usually an ally of one of their enemies, the enemy of my enemy kind of thing. And then they would perpetrate some type of heinous attack under that country's flag and sit by as those two powers wore each other down. So the modern equivalent to that is, I don't know, gassing your own women and children in Syria in tactically unimportant places, sending yourself threatening emails and claiming that you've been attacked by racist Trump supporters. Come to find out, it's just all a bunch of lies and you're some unhinged college leftist professor. Or, in this case, we're going to mail ourselves explosive packages, like George Soros just found an unexploded package in his mailbox. Man, listen, I know you guys are saying that's too far, but that's one guy that I do wish opened his own mail. They are literally passing laws in countries that are called the anti-Soros laws or the Soros prevention laws that prevent outside foreign powers, NGOs, and nonprofits from giving money to illegal or undocumented immigrants in said country. So George Soros and his operations and his organizations and his money is not allowed in several countries, Russia being one of which is why the globalists hate Russia. That's why they've been demonizing Russia, when China is actually the real threat. That might be going a little too far into the weeds, but as long as we're talking about George Soros and this globalist agenda, let's talk about this caravan of people that's coming up from Honduras. If you think that this 7,000, 8,000 strong caravan just sporadically and spontaneously assembled and headed for the U.S.'s southern border all on its own, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona that I would just love to sell you. So this is clearly a globalist operation. There's a deep state globalist operation. They're trying to cause a crisis on our southern border headed into this midterm election. It's not going to work. The base is solidly behind President Trump. We want to build that wall. It just got another 10 feet tall because without borders, you don't have a country. And President Trump has challenged the media to go and talk to the people in this caravan to find out exactly who is amongst them, which is exactly what President Trump warned us about on the campaign trail in 2016. They are murderers, they're rapists, they're terrorists, they're MS-13 gang members, but all the Democrats see, all the left sees is potential voters. These people are clearly not asylum seekers and just honest immigrants because they're waving the flag of their country as they march towards our border, and that is called an invasion. This is a wave of human collateral meant to destabilize our infrastructure and government, because it's a lot easier to destroy things than it is to maintain or build things, so that the Trump administration has to deflect time, resources, thought, personnel towards dealing with that crisis. So this is still all a part of the resist, never Trumper, controlled opposition, rhino Republican, deep state coup that our president has been enduring and indeed defeating in the first 2 years of his presidency, while he has achieved unparamounted success in office. So thank you, President Trump. Thank you so much for everything that you do for us. So Some reports are way over that 7,000 to 8,000 number. Some more local media sources are claiming that it's over 10,000 migrants. Now, this is a big number, and we're all talking about it and thinking about it right now. But let's sit back and consider that in 2016, the Democrats and the left themselves told us that there's 12 to 14 million undocumented people here in the United States of America. So, yeah, 14,000 is a big number, but you know it's a bigger number? 14 million people. And you should be concerned about that. If you're a legal immigrant, if you're a landowner, if you're a member of a minority community here already, think about it. There's just over 30 million black people in the United States of America. And if the Democrats can manage to get all of these illegals voting, not that they even truly need them to, because they control a super delegate system. They can do it with a communist coup outright if they really, really wanted to. And I think that's what's coming after the midterms, when they realize they're going to get crushed again in 2020. But if you have 14 million people here and they manage to make them voters and dependent on the federal system, they don't have to care about the black vote anymore at all. They don't have to care about the legal Hispanic vote here at all, which is turning out in droves for President Trump. 29, 30%. And that's coming from some of the mainstream fake news media sources. Whenever big tech like Facebook and Google and all of these executives made like-kind or in-like contributions to the Clinton campaign by busing these Hispanic communities around to vote. And they didn't expect that so many of them were going to vote for President Trump, because they're completely disconnected. They're completely unhinged. Oh, like this guy down in Texas, who is obviously a Beto fanatic, a Beta fanatic, a Robert fanatic, and definitely just a lunatic to boot.
It is your property?
Yes.
Okay. This is... Oh, that's your property too, though, huh?
That's my neighbor's property. He's a gun owner.
Oh, I'm a gun owner too.
I would watch. Be careful.
If you guys shoot me over that, that would be great. That would be really, like, you know, along the same appropriate response. That would be.
You know, I have bought 100 of these. I'm about to put more out.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll feel better about that.
Bro, you are definitely the reason that I carry a firearm on a daily basis, man. Definitely. That type of triggerable, useful idiot leftist insanity is honestly the reason why Donald Trump is going to most certainly win in 2020 again. We're tired of that. And that kind of insanity is coming out of academia and our government institutions. It's obscene. It really is. Like, who thinks that it's healthy to have someone on the street like that? Not me, but we're busy in Oklahoma expanding our prison system and reducing our mental health institutions. So, you know, we might see more of it. We've got some more stuff on the national scene, though. New York Democrat rebukes Pelosi endorsement despite accepting thousands in cash from her. And that's the way that the Democrats operate. That's the way that the left operates. If you watch them long enough, you will get to see them start to eat their own. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing the left and the Democrats devour their own. And the Republican Party is in serious danger of losing its identity in this mess also. At some point, the Democrat Party became anti-American, and that has allowed the Republican Party to become anti-conservative. Well, I'm here to tell you there is a last line of defense for true conservatism in America. And it's patriots and constitutionalists and the grassroots movements that are out there, and they're busy right now, believe you me. So from the outset, whenever we decided that Donald Trump could actually devolve power from the federal government, many of us realized that that power was going to come back to the states where it belonged in the first place. And that if we were not involved and in positions to influence what the state did with that power, then it would all be for naught, because Donald Trump would just devolve the federal government down into these state fiefdoms. And that's no good either. So we've got a lot of things to fix on the state level. We've got a lot of things to fix on the federal level. But also just the mentality of Americans, and indeed Oklahomans today, needs to be addressed. Government is meant to be minimal. Your rights and freedoms are meant to be the bulk of your existence here. So anybody expecting the government to ensure equal outcomes instead of equal opportunities is a communist and a socialist. And they are on that slippery slope towards statism. It's like our President Donald Trump says, in America, we do not worship government. We worship God. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with a few parting plugs. Go to www.lastamericanpresident.com. Buy the book by Oklahoma author Richard Engel. You've seen him on the show a few times. It is a fiction novel, but it is based in truth. It's about a man who makes the ascent to the ultimate office, the presidency of the United States, and like Donald Trump, starts cutting federal government, eliminating entire agencies, but he's just simply there too late. But it's a very personal story too. There's a lot of romance in it. There's a lot of political intrigue, and so for you politicos that are out there in the world, you're going to get a lot of what people call dog whistles, I guess, or you're going to see things that are very familiar. But if you'll punch in the promo code OTU, then Richard is going to not only give you 50% off of the hardback, but half of your purchase price is going to come back to OTU Media to support the mission here, to support our efforts, to continue to be that last line of defense for conservatism in Oklahoma. So thank you guys so much for joining me on the Tod Tucker Show. And as I like to say, stay motivated, because we are winning.